Would you believe me if the first intro was amazing? So this game is called My Boss is Scaring Me. It's got vampires, it's got dating, it's got stalking and murder. Of course, because vampires. Just so viewer discretion is advised. Please understand that. My name is Mary Roses. I play video games. I don't feel very good. I'm very cold still. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I don't feel great. So if you're here and you're like, what? She don't got no makeup. I don't feel good. But this game has one review in English on Steam, so it's free. Check it out for yourself. Without further ado, let's go. Now that you can hear me, you can hear the game too. Sick! The cool wind of the early evening relaxes me after hours on a boring train journey. I see the station behind me and sigh. Feeling that it's finally the end of an era and the beginning of a new one, all I had to do was get used to it. Of course, it wouldn't be easy. I've always lived in small towns. Being in big ones is scary, to say the least. Dude, I freaking know that. We just moved last year, right? So not just moved, but and we're like near a city, and I'm afraid. But I'm more than old enough to deal with it. I've been limiting my growth since I was 20. Now it's time to start my new life. What's that? It's that idiot again. What is it now? Are you in London? Are you really in London already? I've just arrived. I'm getting a car to go home. Damn, thought I'd get that train tomorrow. Hey, listen, can you forgive me? I was actually planning to give you money back if I won. Turns out you didn't. Well, this must be our partner. And another thing, you could have at least asked. But I'll give you the money back by the end of the year, I promise. That was just one of your blunders. The last one, I'd say. We've been having these serious problems for 2 years now. That's what my mother said. You didn't look trustworthy. I want you to stop bothering me now. If you get the money, you'll have my mother's address. Give it to her. Is that your final word? Yes. Yes, it is. You're such a shit. What a weird thing to say. Doing this after I forgave you for the horrible scene you made in that bar, I should have humiliated you right there. Dots. Well, where can I find a cab now? I'm Oliver. I'm 26 years old, a journalist, and I never fucking learned how to read, and a fashion writer. Well, I was a fashion writer. Quit because, in the end, I wanted to work in news, investigations. I've been dating Eric since I was 18. I met him at college. Recently, I discovered that he wasn't who I expected him to be. I saw him with a boy in a bar. They were kissing seriously. It even seemed to be a singles party, really. I got desperate and made a scene. After that, we were never the same. And now this. A huge financial shortfall that I honestly don't know if I'll be able to recover anytime soon. Because of horse betting? Who invests so much money in that? What a loser. Those savings were supposed to buy me a car, and I was planning to pay my mother's hospital bill. She had an accident. Now she's there, and I need to help her. The taxi driver says something to me, but I don't understand very well. The accident was very heavy. After a while, my eyes widened as I realized that he was asking me to check the address. After a few good minutes, I could soon see the cluster of apartments that was my building. It was already dark when I arrived. They say this city gets dark easily. I paid the driver and get out of the car. So this is going to be my new home. The rent is cheap, but the cost of living is much higher than where I'm used to living. My mother was able to give me a down payment, but after 15 days I'd have to pay again. And I start work tomorrow. I'm really not even going to unpack my things. I'm just going to arrive, throw myself in the bed, and pretend I'm unemployed until the alarm goes off. Wow. It's small, but the landlord left a lot for me. Otto is a really nice guy. I leave my backpack on the bed and stretch, taking one last look out of the window. The neighborhood is simple and quiet. I can still hear a neighbor's dog barking. I look at the clock and it's already 11 p.m. It was past quiet time, but I didn't want to be the new annoying neighbor, so I decided to ignore the dogs. I took a quick shower and finally went to bed. But of course, my anxiety wouldn't let me sleep. Wow, I left him talking to himself. Let me answer your messages. Hey, Leon, I just got home. I'm nervous for tomorrow. I'm sorry I only answered now. The signal on the train was terrible. Neil's gonna be my coworker. He works in the ombudsman's office, where he'll receive the news for us to write up later. We could call him the agenda setter. Never seen his face before. MP, brother. No problem. Brenda's bringing in a cake tomorrow. Let's celebrate your arrival. Would you like a drink after work? I promise not to tell boss. I laugh. He seems like a nice guy. I reply. No, I don't think so on the first day. How about the weekend? Weekend then. It's a deal. I'll show you where we usually go. Go to sleep, okay? Tomorrow's a big day. Talk to you later. I say goodbye and turn around, leaving my phone by my side. I look out the window at the moon shining brightly, welcoming me. But when the clouds cover it, I decide to go to sleep. Luckily, it seems that these puppies have chosen to sleep too. But my head throbs a little and I turn the other way. I feel the urge to cry out of nowhere. What would I do in the morning? What news do I want to catch? What kind? What subjects? I'm a bit shy. God, what a career I've chosen. Oh, Mom, I so wish I had your advice right now. I feel a tear coming, but it's dry. I'm going to call you early tomorrow morning. I want to at least tell you that I love you. I think I'll calm down like this. Cake. Is the boss nice? Is Leon handsome? I wonder if... Ooh. Ah! Ah! I quickly pick up my phone and answer it. Hello? Hi, Mom. How are you? I was gonna call you later. My mother's voice was no longer sleepy. She was awake, and that indicated that she had been awake for some time. The sound in the background was that of someone in the field tending to the chickens. I'm fine, sweetie. I've been waiting for your call, but since I wasn't sure about the rush. How's work? Oh, I haven't left yet. I'm making some coffee. But I think everything's gonna be fine. At least I hope so. My colleague is nice. But geez, son, what time do you get in? What do you mean, what time? 8 o'clock. It's already 10! I gulped down my coffee, changed quickly, and then tripping over everything, I ran towards the nearest cab rank. Oh my god, I forgot to set the alarm! I'm screwed! Oh, Mom, don't worry, son. I trust that if it's meant to be, it will be. I miss you so much. I'll be able to visit you soon, darling. My leg is almost fine. Your little sister came to look after me these days. She's off school. But unfortunately, I can't ask her to get a job right now. She's studying for university entrance exams. No, don't worry. I get paid in fortnight, so I'll be able to give you an amount soon. It won't be enough for the hospital bill, but I'm sure it'll help. Why don't you ask G to sell some eggs? Her chickens were laying well these days. Yes, she will. Don't worry about it. This isn't just your problem. Well, son, I'm gonna hang up so I can leave you alone with your work. Remember to do twice as much work today so you can pay for the delay, eh? Of course, Mom. Love you too. Good, Oliver, good. I get out of the car quickly. I run into the office and introduce myself as reception to the young lady. She immediately calls the head of my department. I feel like I'm gonna pee my pants. Go on up, Oliver. Take your card as usual. 3rd floor, 1st room. I nod and do exactly as she says. I go up to the 3rd floor, go to my room. In the corridor, I can already see people walking back and forth. My heart was in my mouth, but I quickly found my sector's office and then my desk at the back. I sit down, sighing. I don't speak to anyone, and I shrink away as if I weren't there. My desk is clean, which is a notebook, a computer, and 0 personality. I start work then. I put on my headphones so I can follow the team discussions. At the back of the room, there's a large table with several televisions. On the screens, scenes from all over the country and the city appear. News from other newspapers, interviews, and the like. I also have access to the company's information at work, but I didn't manage to find my way around very well in the 2 hours before the break. I only wrote down a few key words, and I also paused when someone passed behind me. At lunchtime, I got up and left, looking for a coffee maker. In the corridor, however, I bumped into 2 people. They were chatting animatedly, and one of them was carrying a piece of cake. Why was that so hard to read? Also, why am I so pasty? A girl and a boy. The boy immediately waves to me. Hi. I want to start by apologizing for being late. I missed the time, I forgot to set the alarm, and... Hey, calm down, brother. Although the newspaper is quite big, we don't take these things too seriously. It's just that you'll probably have your hours taken off. Yes, sir. Work overtime. But our schedules are really crazy, so when you do it, let us know and I'll see if I can do it too. Oliver, this gorgeous girl here is Brenda, our detective. She investigates the information I pass on. When she finds the information to be true, she sends an email to the editor team, and that's where you come in. The way you say it, it sounds like I'm going to be in the field I'm going to be out in the field to look at gruesome cases if I were a coroner. Brenda has an easy smile. She lets Leon hold her plate and quickly grabs another for me. I eat a little awkwardly. Leon, you shouldn't be smoking in the office. Well, technically this is the corridor. The office is inside. He points to the inside, knocking some ash onto the floor in the process. But shut it. Everyone knows that if I don't have a smoke during breaks, I get anxious. By the way, Oliver, if you get anxious too, you can use the pantry or the bathroom to shout. No one will judge you, I swear. Hey, the way you're talking, you'll scare the new guy. She taps him on the shoulder, pouting. He laughs in response. When I came, I was scared shitless too, mainly because it was a weird time. The boss was on the phone to us all day. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that the boss doesn't stay here in the office? They both nod. Who supervises us? Himself, but via reports. And at the end of the day, we write down our activities in a collective file. He receives it and checks it. If it's different, get ready to have your brains eaten. He goes berserk and meets with you all day. It's true, it happened to me. Damn, so he'll know I'm late. No, they talked about overtime, but it certainly wouldn't be a good first impression. Be at peace, Oliver, and do your best. I'm sure everything will work out. Have another piece of cake and then we'll go back. That's right. Do as the sheriff says. Leon! The rest of the day was uneventful. I selected a few interesting stories to take a closer look at home. Some were quite impressive, but I needed my rubber ducky to discuss them. Oh my god! Rubber ducking! I just learned about this, actually. My partner works in technology, and they have, all of them have, a toy to talk to, because it's rubber ducking helps you answer questions because you talk to it. It's such a cool thing! I learned about it, and then everything started bringing it up, and I was like, whoa, you know? Of course, sometimes that duckling was my mother. After getting home and preparing my dinner, I sit down at the table with my notebook, my plate, and my cell phone. I leave it on speaker. Mom answers it as soon as she can, and listens to me chatter about my classmates. She seems immensely happy. If I had to talk about this week's news, she pays full attention, with her yeps amused. But then I fall silent. When I'm eating my dinner, I glance at a passage I jotted down at random. This sure is to impress the bosses. Any big news? Yes, of course. I was feeling very excited. Mom, your son is going to cover a crime. Wait, what? My baby, are you sure? I think it's dangerous. You should start at the bottom, shouldn't you? Don't worry, Mom. I'm sure they'll love this news. The days went by, and I gradually got to grips with my work with my colleagues. I constantly called my boss to ask about the article, but he wouldn't answer, so I just opted to work on my own, doing my best. So, how are we doing? Did Brenda get you any more information? Can you believe it? This girl wasn't attacked where she was found, see? Brenda got these photos. Of course, I'm not going to print them in the newspaper, but it's a good start. Can you see them here and here? At first, it was reported that she died in this corridor, but if you analyze it, she came touching the wall. Of course, the coroners are looking into it, but they haven't reported it yet. You can contact the... Sorry, Oliver. I've got a case of cheating in the media from the singer I told you about the other day. But you have access. I released it when I saw how excited you were about the case. You have contact details for the family, the coroners, the police officers involved, and I think Brenda also has some confidential contacts in case you need them. I confess I was a little annoyed by the importance he gave to this cheating. I know the public likes it, but isn't murder more interesting? Well, I sigh and pat his hand, smiling at least. Thanks, I'll do my best. You can get on with your work, okay? Leon gives me a slight smile and nods, heading for his desk next to me. He stretches out in an unassuming way, placing his legs on the table as he fixes his headphones. Leon was very carefree sometimes. I rarely saw him as an anxious person, even though he assured me he was. It must be the cigarette, the smell of which I've gotten used to over the last few days. I've been collecting data on this case for a week now. And to be honest, I'm getting scared that I'm missing the deadline. But I learned in college that journalism is about the search for truth, veracity, and accuracy of information. In a murder case, any erroneous exposure puts the wrong person on the radar. I put on my headphones too and I start making my calls. As I add information to the sheets, I review them and hand them over the most relevant data for Brenda to take a look at. It went on like this until the end of the day. I'm struggling to read, which sucks because I really am excited for this. But this time, I was persuaded to go out at night with the two of them. Brenda came bouncing out in front of us with her giant but empty popcorn bucket and a picture of her favorite actor. Did you like the movie? I loved it. It's been so long since I've seen such a good movie. To be honest, I'm a bit of an outsider when it comes to this kind of media. Geek. Oh, come on. Today's story wasn't even a continuation of anything. You could understand everything just from where it was on the screen. I know. It wasn't that. I just found the jokes a bit... Leon gives me a little kick in the leg as he finishes can of soda. Nothing. I guess I was just tired. Well, next time we can watch whatever you want. I won't judge, I swear. I like romance. They both looked at me in surprise. I don't know why he got this voice, and I'm sorry. I did it to Milky Way Prince too, where I'm like, I'm just a little guy. Then they started laughing, but it wasn't exactly a joke. In fact, they seemed to think it was cute. He did look like a romantic. I've never asked you, but are you in a relationship? Yeah, tell us. I'm single. Look, I could introduce you to my friends. No, I'm not. I actually ended the relationship rather badly, so I think I'm taking a break. Cheating? Yes, but not just that. Oh boy, she had a baby? It's not she, it's him. They both look at me shocked. Then Brenda puts her hand on my shoulder and rubs it a little. I'm sorry, Oliver. I think our conversations about women these days must have left you feeling a bit dull. No, relax. I don't really care. I'm quite open about it. I've had lots of straight, bisexual, and homosexual friends, so I've learned to listen to everything. I like men too, but I've been so discouraged. I know, they can be complicated. Leon puts his hands on his chest and dramatically fakes a heart attack, leaning against the street lamp and sliding down until he was sitting up. Then he starts laughing. He smokes another whole cigarette while we chatter away. Finally, we take a cab home. Back. At last. Now that I'm in the silence of the night, I realize that my mind has never left the case itself. The body of that girl from the photos Brenda brought back haunts me. I really need to go in and try to analyze something else. Although, I'm not a detective, I think I should leave that to the experts. I took a shower, got dressed for bed, and finally tried to disconnect from reality. In the bedroom, I realized that my phone had received several calls. Most of them were from Eric. I didn't answer it, nor did I return it, but I chose to type a few messages. Ask him what he wants. Are you ignoring me? You must be with a whore. It was a super important subject, shit. I frowned and sighed again, repeating, what do you want? Brendan's after me because I need to pay off the debt from the bar. Send me the money. You're the one who broke the table. I clenched my teeth. You've got to be kidding me. Oliver, come in. Otherwise, I'll have to deal with your mother. Oh, I answered finally. If you bother my family, you're screwed, Eric. I've never been one for fighting, but I'm ready to do something if you step on my toes. He took a while to reply, but sent a photo. The photo was of the front of my mother's house. I could see my sister playing with the family cat on the balcony. I didn't know if the photo was recent, but it was certainly after I had left, since Gia arrived in the afternoon of the same day. Eric, what do you want? He didn't answer anymore, and obviously my sleep went to shit. I thought about calling someone. I didn't want to disturb anyone's sleep, so I ended up calling my boss by chance. He never answered the company's phone calls ever, but that night, there was no voicemail. I was greeted by calm, violin music in the background, so I quickly despaired. 1,000 pardons, I called wrong. Good night. I hung up, tucked my cell phone under my pillow, and I struggle. I banged my head on the table, exhausted. I'm late for work again, and there are 5 hours I have to do by the end of the month. But you didn't call the police? You need to make a report or something about this threat, Oliver. I know, I just don't know exactly who to turn to. The local police at my town, they're so slow. Bad side of living in a small town. God, if I lived there, do you want me to hit him back? I swear. Calm down. I don't know if that would do the trick. Have you told your mother? I nodded, still leaning on the table. It was the first thing I did in the morning. My mother said that she would talk to the neighbors and avoid leaving G outside the house. I was to collect the animals early. But that still wasn't calming me down. At first, I'm trusting in the town's sense of community, and they won't let anything happen to them. But I think I maybe should go there somehow, on a weekend. Or send someone I trust. Tell you what, focus on the subject you're doing. Time is crucial here. If we don't publish soon, we'll lose the timing. The public is eager for information about this murder. The girl is known, and the suspect has only appeared in shadows on some cameras. The search for information about him is in full swing. You told me you worked at the local newspaper, right? Give me the address, and I'll try to make a bridge with people there. Then I can move the pieces to protect your family. You're already one of us. I won't let them hurt you like this, especially if it's an asshole man. Count on me, too. Whatever I can do, just call me. You guys are awesome, seriously. I'll pass on everything I know about Eric and the people there to you by email, Leon. I think I'll stay late tonight so I can finish the story. Will the lunch be the day after tomorrow? Actually, if you can manage it, we launch it tomorrow on the crime page. I asked them to leave a placeholder. My God. I sighed deeply, standing up and stretching out on my chair. I've hardly done any work this morning, so the afternoon needs to be totally focused. I thank my colleagues and set about writing down the new information we've been able to confirm about the case. The victim's name is Vanessa Elias. She's not from the city. She was seeing a young man at the time. The boy's whereabouts are unknown, so he has become a suspect. See, this is my issue, because look. Does that look much better? I don't think so. Ugh. The method of death was strangulation, but with a particularity. The neck was pierced twice with a thin weapon. I look so pale! And well, the blood was extracted almost completely. However, she wasn't killed where she was found. According to the autopsy and the scene study, she was placed on her shoulders at some point like a stack. And then she was placed in a corridor where she crawled alone to the direction where the camera was pointing. There, she tried to write something with the rest of the blood that dripped from her neck, but only managed to write 2 letters, the letters O and the letters S. After that, she died. No other security camera caught his path, neither did the building's camera, which would probably have caught someone leaving or entering. All the investigators call the suspect the Phantom Lover, but to be honest, I'd put vampire instead. But I won't get too fancy, I'll just give you the facts. According to the descriptions of the people who knew Vanessa, this guy was tall, slim, with black hair and vibrant blue eyes. He didn't speak very good English. He sounded like he came from somewhere else with a heavy accent. Oh, my back. They all left while I finished my original writing. Now I would need proofreading layout. Are you sure you're going to stay? I will. Don't worry. Then I'll take a cab home. Good luck, Oliver. Don't push yourself too hard. At least tomorrow's Saturday. You can try readjusting your sleep. Try to get some rest, really. Of course. Thank you very much for your concern. Have a good weekend. The 2 of them left. Silence settled over the headquarters. I knew there was still a security guard and a janitor, but they were further down the hall. Here, I could only see the city lights in the windows, while the monitor shone blue in my face. My body stiffened completely. What the hell was that? Was it my keys? Damn it. Surely not. It's coming up the stairs. He's entering the corridor. I quickly turned off the local light on my desk and also the monitor hiding under the desk. It was pathetic. But nothing came to mind until that moment. Shit. I tried to pick up my cell phone, but even with the light low, it was still very bright, so I immediately pressed the light to my chest. The footsteps got louder. And then the light comes on. Good night, Janelle. I freeze. Janelle was the cute nickname that people used to call the newspaper office. I slowly moved my chair away so that I could see better. The man was on his back, pulling a heavy scarf over his neck and stretching his hands up lazily. Then he turns towards me and I see his shiny black boots coming. The chair is pulled up sharply. Ah! Good evening. He looks like every vampire ever, and I'm fucking here for it. Let's go! The man was tall, thin, wearing a leather jacket, or something similar, very shiny. Heavy sunglasses cover his eyes. He looks at me with a confused expression, but quickly frowns. Good evening. I swear I was just working overtime. Don't worry, I heard about it in the email. What bothers me most is the fact you're sneaking around like a rat. I quickly tried to get up, but hit my head on the table. Ow! I ended up getting a bit scared. I didn't know you'd come here today. Let me turn on the light in the little room, excuse me. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know I'd have company today. I really don't want to bother you. I'm gonna do things quickly and leave. Actually, I was already... No problem. He turns on the monitor and takes a look at my work. I swallow hard, actually. I quickly try to get up, but hit my head on the table. Because the description of the killer, it's very similar. Hell. I'm shaking, my hands are freezing. That's fine. If you want to give me access, I can review it for you. Then you'll leave early. It's just that I think I'll need to do my overtime. I see. Come and have coffee with me. His face falls on me again. Then he smiles slightly and stretches out his gloved hand towards me. Of course, I stretch out my hand to his, standing up and straighten my clothes, sighing heavily. Now, standing up, I realize that he's very tall. Oliver Hamilton, sir. Oscar. I widen my eyes. That man was the famous boss who never shows up. Am I very lucky or unlucky? I'm on an audio call with Leon when I take some notes. At first, my idea was to revise a few points, but he managed to pull out information about last night with some ease. Well, that just goes to show his skills as a journalist. Well, no, he hasn't said much about himself. He's kind of quiet. Really? He hasn't said too much, but he had said something, hasn't he? Well, where do I start? It was starting to rain. The city was illuminating the office and the corridors with its lights, and I felt it was a bit chilly too. Despite this, I swallowed my saliva and came back to reality, so as not to make a fool of myself around the boss. I followed Mr. Oscar into the pantry, feeling every hair on my body stand on end. I could swear he was the criminal, and being alone with him made me terrified. I stared out the window, watching the movement outside to make sure that if I shouted, someone would hear me. However, Oscar was very simple. He pours a fresh cup of coffee. The wonderful smell wafts through the air. I watch him out of the corner of my eye as he does so. He also puts a mug into the microwave, and I smell rust mixed with the coffee. I think the microwave is breaking down. Yes, it must be. I'll have the technician take a look, don't worry. Oscar seems lost in the world of the moon. I could swear he doesn't pay any attention to me. You can see through his eyes. The glass blocked visibility too much, and, well, it was weird that he wore those glasses at night. He takes out his mug and promptly leans on the counter, drinking. I pour my coffee, facing him. He lifts his face towards me, his usual stoic posture. So, how embarrassing. I have no idea what to say to him. His voice is a little different over the phone. Did you want to say something to me that night? Oh, you know it was me, so... Of course. Of course. You must have a record of employee phone number. How silly of me. I was just worried about some personal things, nothing major. I see. Well, I work my hours here. If you want to talk, I have time. It's really no big deal. I'm just having problems at home. I'm being threatened, but I'm not sure it's serious. Nothing to worry about. Threats? What do you mean threats? Well, he sends me photos of my house with my sister and mother in vulnerable situations. And I keep thinking that it's very easy to hurt them. But I'm here and I can't do anything so quickly. My mother already knows and is taking care, but she's very simple. Do you know who it is? He lowers his mug, licking his lips and removing a thin, dark layer, perhaps from the chocolate he was drinking. Move a little closer to him, leaning on the counter as well. I was feeling more exhausted. Yes, his name is Eric. He's an acquaintance. He's a bit violent and erratic, a libertine. Libertine? I'm not sure he'll have the guts to do anything, but I see. If you allow me, I can report him to the outside contacts. I just need some kind of proof that he's acting this way. I have the photos, but because he calls me, I end up not being able to record the conversations. I know. He then turns away from me, walking towards a cupboard in the hallway. He was tall, so the door above, which I couldn't move, wasn't so far away from his hands. Pulling out a black square object, he turns back to me. Without much explanation, he hands me the object, which I now see as a tape recorder. Thank you. Can I really use it? I'm surprised you don't have one. Go ahead. Keep it for future punchers, too. I couldn't afford a good one. My previous one had a very short memory capacity. I really appreciate it. I look at the brand. It's the latest generation, big enough not to lose around, but small enough to hide inside a blouse. Even analyzing Oscar, he was a rather humble man. As a former fashion employee, I recognized the marks of his pants and jacket. Of course, they weren't thrift stores, but I knew they weren't designer. He seems content with quality, and that was it. He crosses his legs, still standing, and I could see that his shoes were also good, but the left one was worn at the top. I laugh. Do you ride a motorcycle? Yes, I prefer motorcycles. Any reason? You have the clutch mark on your shoe, and that's what your jacket is for, too. He shrugs, sighing. Well, I live alone. It's more practical for coming to the office and for other obligations with the bike. I don't think I've touched a car in ages. After a while, he took off his glasses, rubbed his eyes, and put them back on. He looked uncomfortable in the light, and I noticed that your eyes are green? He clearly realizes that I was staring deep into his eyes at that moment, so he frowns even more. I swallow my saliva. Do you want me to turn off the lights? He looks at the bulbs for a second, then nods. Leave me alone. My office is darker than this part. Finish your drink and get back to work, unless you've already finished. And then he sat down in his office, and I went back to finish a few quick things. But that's weird. If he hasn't all the characteristics of a criminal except the eyes, then it's not him. And criminals can't wear lenses? That would explain the sensitivity of his eyes that night. Well, yes. But would he only hide his eyes crazy? What do I know? Sometimes he's too rich to be caught by the police. I'll try to investigate the boss. If I hear any dirt, I'll let you know. In the meantime, keep reviewing the information Brenda gave you. Actually, do you want to go out for a drink? It's the weekend. Actually, I think... Just then the apartment doorbell rings. I ask Leon to wait a moment, and I go to answer the door. I unlock the door and open a crack, watching the person outside. It was a delivery man from some company. But I hadn't ordered anything. Are you Oliver Hamilton? Yes, what is this? It's from Miller's Chocolatieri. An order for you. Does it have a sender? I wasn't given that information, sure, but it's already been paid for. To avoid embarrassment, I sigh and quickly take the box, thanking the delivery man. The box was so exquisite, and this chocolate shop was local. I take it to the table, holding the cell phone in one hand while opening the bow with the other. Leon, they sent me chocolates. Secret admirer? What if they're poisoned? Why would the chocolate shop poison you, man? No, your mouth. It might not be from there, right? What? Sorry, I haven't eaten today. He gives him a full laugh, then goes back to the phone. You're right. Does Eric have your address? No. Well, I'll call Miller and see if they're placed an order at your address. Don't eat anything until then. Right, thanks. He laughs a little, but then goes back to his phone. I turn off my cell phone and stare at the box, tape in hand. Then I hesitantly open the lid to see what's inside. I see chocolates, really. He laughs a little, but then goes back to the phone. Quite a few, from 20 to 30 chocolates. There seems to be like 3 different flavors. No name, no signature. God. Set up in bed, picking up my cell phone to keep track of anything Leon sent me. Looking through it, I see that there's a missed call. It was probably when I was talking to Leon. I check the number and feel my face heat up when I see that it's his number. Oscar's. I sit up in bed, picking up my cell phone to keep track of anything Leon sends me. I take a deep breath, dialing again and putting the phone to my ear. I get an answer, but this time without background music. Hello? Good morning, Oliver. His voice was very soft. I think he sounded sleepy or drunk. Did I wake you up? No, I just writing some things down. Is everything alright? Yes, I was asleep, but I remembered that it was about the time Miller said that she was going to deliver the package to you. Was it you? Yes. Oh, I forgot my card. Forgive me for that. A heavy yawn followed. He looks exhausted. Probably worked late. Well, it's a silly treat. No need to worry. I hope you like it. I love it. Thank you so very much, Oscar. I wanted to ask you, do you want to go to the mall with me in the evening? There's a bar that I really like. We can talk about the problem you told me about yesterday. I wasn't comfortable with it yet. I swallow. The image of his piercing eyes comes back to me. The eyes of a predator. He was at least a dangerous man. Someone who knew he had a certain power that could make him even angrier. But I'm going out with a guy today. Dots. I see. Sorry to bother you then. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. He hung up. He hung up just like that. I stared at the cell phone screen for a while, feeling my heart in my throat. Was he really upset? Or angry? Well, Eric's problem was mine. He didn't have to be like that. I think about it for a few moments, but then I come back to the present when Leon calls me again. Hi, Oliver. Miller said that you can't pass on that kind of information, that I... Forget it! Can we go out for drinks tonight? I'm a bit nervous. I need a point of view or something, and I need to be face to face. Eat that. Sure, I'm fine with nothing to do. What time? About 6 p.m.? So, I'll pick you up at your place. He hangs up too, and I let out a heavy sigh. I really need to get my head together. I don't want to be that suspicious of Oscar, but 2 guys chasing me is something I'm not too keen on having to deal with. But I'll have one of the chocolates. This chocolate shop is great. Monday. We were already on a very tight deadline for me to release all the information about Vanessa's case. Even so, I was glued to the story, but my colleagues already had other things on their minds. Leon walked back and forth with the strange theories behind me, and even forgot that he couldn't smoke in the room. Brenda, however, had already returned to her work, finished quickly, and returned to me to bother me some more. And it wasn't even lunchtime yet. I can't believe you ate. Someone's chocolates that you found suspicious. Is there a worm in your head? I sigh. I was trying to concentrate on the essay, but they were quite nosy. So? Did you bring some here? I look at her. At first incredulous, but then I laugh and nod. I did, here. I take the lunchbox I had brought with half the contents of the original box and put it on the table, opening the lid. She doesn't even stand on ceremony, promptly taking some of the sweets. Oh, she. But you were complaining about him eating just now. Yes, but since he hasn't had any bad symptoms and hasn't died this weekend, that means you're safe. In that case. And Leon also eats some chocolates. I sigh, nodding and putting on my headphones. I needed to finish this that day, and any information that came afterwards I'd leave for a second headline. By the way, Oliver. With her mouth half full, Brenda goes to the cupboard and comes back, bringing with her an envelope and leaving it on my desk. Here, I've been talking to Rodrigo. He's our investigator who has the most contact with the coroner and the forensic team. You can call him if you need to. He said he managed to collect some photos of the last places acquaintances and friends saw Vanessa with her boyfriend. It's all from security cameras, and he said we'd love it. As you're the one dealing with this case, I'll let you open it yourself. Gee, Brenda, thanks a lot. Helping me with my unfortunate shyness. Nothing. Bridging the gap is my duty, but as I have to deal with other journalists as well, I hope you'll be able to handle it from now on. Of course, I'd really appreciate it. After patting me on the arm and leaving my chocolates alone, she meets up with Leon and sorts out other problems. It looked like Janelle was in chaos, but they didn't want to bother me so that the newbie could focus on one activity. Of course, I appreciate that. Eating one of the chocolates, I carefully open the envelope and dump its contents on my desk, next to my notebook. The first thing that catches my eye is something extremely obvious. Vanessa was alone. In all the photos. I hold up the photos if I could see more of them through the light of the monitor, to no avail. The photos were all of local restaurants and eateries, some of them very expensive. But she was sitting, talking to herself, laughing to herself, showing something on her cell phone to nothing. She looked very happy in all the photos, and what's worse, the tables were always set for two. Wish I had access to the camera, see these photos on tape, the video they were taken from. I put my hand to my mouth and leaned my elbow on the table. What exactly did that mean? Was she losing her sanity? I swallowed my saliva, shaked my head, and promptly called one of the restaurants I see in the photos. The voice of the woman who answers me is calm and animated at the same time, expressing all the kindness of a good waitress. I explain the situation and give them the protocol number of the investigation, which they can check on the memo if they left with the security camera. After a few moments of checking, she returns and starts answering questions. The voice of the woman who answered me was calm. Yes. Miss Vanessa came here with her fiancé a few times. It's a tragedy what happened to her. You don't know anything about... I look at the photos, and then I describe the boyfriend according to the previous information, since he didn't have any appearance that I could confirm there. Yes, he was there. Mr. Greedy never left her alone. Am I missing something? No, nothing. I just wanted to make sure. Can you confirm that Greedy and his fiancée were there on the date and time I told you? Yes, I even have the receipt for the purchases here. It was 2 dinners, 2 drinks, and they shared a size G dessert. The payment in the name of Osmar Greedy. I swallow. Excuse me, Oscar, did you say? No, sir, Osmar Greedy. Osmar William Greedy, to be exact. Is he a suspect, sir? I can't give you that information yet, ma'am. Thank you for confirming the information. Have a great day. Alright then, I'll follow the news. You too. I hang up, but slide my chair back, breaking out in a cold sweat. I look at the box of chocolates. The image of Oscar returns to my mind, that penetrating gaze. But can I confirm that this is the killer's real name? And can I link him to our Oscar? Would he be so stupid as to use such a silly fake name? I look at my cell phone. I could call him. But no. I'm going to call him professionally on the company's landline. I take a deep breath and make it. Good morning. Oscar has that numb, tired voice again. I scratch the table, trying to control my nervousness. Good morning. I'll be honest. I have a lot of suspicion that Vanessa's killer was you. That somehow he managed to manipulate the cameras. Or something like that. But I have a confirmation that something has been done. When I have some more confirmations, because I'm going to ask more people. And if this is all real, unfortunately, the house will fall down for you. Are you aware of this, Oscar? It's not because you've been nice to me and that you're my boss that I'm trying to hide a crime. Close my eyes if I'm going to be punched in the nose. Who was I to talk like that to my boss? Even if it was true, I'm not a policeman to point fingers like that, nor am I an investigator. I heard a laugh. Slow, hoarse, very, very pleasant to hear, I confess. I even put the phone away for a moment to distract my mind. I can't fall for his game. Oliver, I know Vanessa as well as you do. If I were a criminal, do you really think I would appear so easily in public? Especially with colleagues investigating me in my newspaper. You're more intelligent. I wonder if there was something messing with your head. Maybe you need a break. Did you even call Eric? Did you get the recording? If you need help, know that you can count on me. I have several contacts. I didn't have the head or the time. Please stop confusing me. Of course you would. You can easily edit the story before it goes to print. You have access to everything. I can't trust you like that. You match the description of the killer and your name. I know your surname is Greedy. It's in your email. I know. I wonder what image your colleagues paint of me for you, Oliver. It's not their fault. Nobody manipulated me into anything. That's all based on what I know from these investigators. So, why don't you have dinner with me tonight? I can explain a few things. I don't want to talk on the phone. For me, there are things that need to be said face to face. And kill me? Maybe. I feel my hair stand on end and my stomach flip. He said it with such a threatening. I feel almost the same as he did with Eric's photos. But now, afraid of dying myself and not being able to help my family. It's a joke, Oliver. I can hear you breathing from here. But, well, if you want to call a friend, feel free. You can stay outside, I don't mind. We'll be in the public place, too. It's easy to call the authorities if you feel uncomfortable. Whatever you feel, you want to feel more comfortable, right? But if you want to be a good professional, you need to hear what I have to say before you publish that suspect's information. I swallow again. It was reasonable, but I was still terrified. He could be thinking of some kind of blackmail so that I don't report who the possible murderer is. Anyway, I'll just write up the visual evidence part and leave the rest for another story. You're still there. For a second I thought you fainted. What's the point of scaring me? I'm so happy to be working here with the staff. Please stop. I'm so sorry. Well, if you want another backup, the calls from the landline are all recorded. You can use that to your advantage if you feel threatened. I will. But I'll share my location with everyone I know. No problem. I'll send the address to your cell phone. Anything for you, Oliver. After 6 p.m., okay? I'll pick you up Chanel's. I work better at night, and you interrupted my sleep. Okay, so until then, Hello again? I don't want to save, but... Okay, so there is stuff, okay. Yeah. Uh-oh. That's not good. 45 minutes in? Really? I didn't want to save because I was like, I'll beat the game by then. No! No! Is that it? This game was so cool! Okay, well, that's it. No one's gonna get to the end anyways, right? So that was my boss is scaring me. Did you get further? Let me know. Did I break the game? Who knows? I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!